Hello and welcome to Simply Sport with me Neeraj Prabhu. September 29th is observed as the World Heart Day, a very special day for a very special organ. This day we can all start to take care of heart. Many sporting careers have come to an abrupt end because of heart ailments. In today's program we will talk to Dr. Rufino Monteiro and learn various techniques of how to have a healthy heart and have a great sports career. How do we create awareness for budding sports persons to take care of their heart?
Well, that's precisely what is the theme for this year's World Heart Day. One is to take care of women and children to have a less cardiovascular disease. And if you want to have a healthy heart, you have to start it right from childhood. In today's world, where you see children being inactive, playing more computer games, mobiles, games, and being on Facebook and all sorts of other chats, rather than going on the field and playing a physical game. At the same time, along with this inactivity, physical inactivity, you find that today's children are going on to eat very bad foods, junk foods as we call them, not natural foods which are very good to the body, whereas junk foods are detrimental to the body because of their high fat content and no good nutritive content. So if you want to have a healthy sporting heart, it has to be started right from childhood. And once you start having activity from childhood and having a good diet from childhood, your endurance develops. Coupled with this, we know that most of the schools, even in Goa today, have what we call as a medical record to be kept of the children. So these physical examinations done at school level, besides the personal examination done by the personal doctors, would help to identify any heart problems that could be occurring at birth or in early childhood. And once that is taken care of, the heart is free from any of the congenital or early childhood illnesses, then the rest is in the hands of the children and the parents to build a healthy heart. As the person grows up, obviously with endurance developing, with stamina developing, with the physical body developing by exercises and training and good nutrition, obviously the heart will tend to remain healthy. But periodic checks are important.
Doctor, can you just categorize on which are the most demanding sports for our heart?
Well, all sports are demanding on the heart, but some are more demanding than the others. Like a fast-paced football game of 90 minutes is very demanding. Similarly, a basketball is a very demanding game, is a fast game. There are other games also which are demanding but not of a long duration. Like you can, hockey is demanding again, because now on AstroTurf it becomes very fast. Then there are games like say badminton, then swimming, even long distance running, which are demanding but in a different fashion from football or from basketball or hockey.
Okay. So how does a budding player should be shaped for taking into such demanding sports? How the youngster should be groomed to for heart health to take up this kind of sports?
See, first and most important, as I told you, from childhood, the activity should be there in the child, physical activity, good food, free from all high sugars or high fat content, natural fibers, natural proteins, not supplements. See, supplemental protein is bad for children. It should be natural protein. That is what is advocated worldwide. Then the use of substances like tobacco, alcohol, as well as drugs is a complete no-no. That is very important, because you cannot have the use of these substances if you want a healthy heart, whether in a sporting career or otherwise, and more so in a sporting career. Sportsmen should be what we call as Puritans as far as these substances are concerned.
Okay. Now we put a lot of focus on starting early. We want to have youngsters coming in and be groomed as the future players. So, what sort of care are the administrators taking, generally taking of checking the heart health or trying to put in discipline and making aware their parents of how to maintain their heart health?
Yes, side by side with getting the youngsters, parental training, parental advice is very important. And in the field of one is discipline, as you rightly said. Discipline as far as use of all the substances are concerned, discipline or as to activity, and discipline as to the type of foods they eat. That's very important. Parental counseling along with education of the child is very important. Second is of course physical examination, and as you know, in most sports, whenever a player is inducted into an academy or into a club, a full physical examination has to be done. That is the basic standard physical examination, and a periodic review, maybe a yearly review or otherwise, depending on the type of sport and depending on what are the risk factors that a certain individual has, family risk factors or personal risk factors.
For sports enthusiasts who would like to, have fitness in their body, not compete in high performance sports, just to maintain a fit body, people go into various gyms or do exercise, and they also do some jogging. So, for them, how would you, make them aware of keeping their heart healthy? How much should they push actually, and what would be the limit for them?
Here again there will be three categories of people. One category would be people who have been into sports regularly. They may not be professional sportsmen, but who have been in sports in a playing field regularly from their childhood and coming up. They need not worry much. They can do one physical examination and carry on with whatever they were doing and incrementally increase or decrease depending upon their stamina that they have. The second and most important are those who have not been having a physical activity in their life earlier, and suddenly they reach the age of say around 35 or 40 and they feel, oh yes, now it is time to take care of our health. We have to exercise, we have to go to a gym, or we have to go for a jog or for a walk or for a swim. These are the people who have to, number one, go for a full physical examination to their doctor to see whether they have any illness that has come into their system. Second is they have to do a full blood checkup, ECG, and if need be or if possible even a treadmill exercise test, which will show them exactly on exercising what their heart is showing, what is their physical capacity for exercise, what is their blood pressure and pulse response to exercise. And depending on the doctor's advice, they should go in for the concerned activity. It is also important to note that if the doctor says you are fit, you can start your exercise. You cannot be very enthusiastic and just take off like a jet. You have to build up your endurance, your stamina, your exercise slowly. If you take off all at once, your body that is not used to exercise will start responding very badly to whatever you do in a fit of enthusiasm. So again, there you should go gradually and build up the level of activity.
Okay.
And the third level of category of people are those who have already had an illness, say a heart problem or a stroke or a blood pressure or diabetes or any other illness, and they want to start what we call as a secondary prevention. They have to have definitely a full medical report from their doctor who is treating them on how much they should exercise, what exercise they should do, and to what level they can go to. And these people basically should keep in touch with their doctor for occurrence of any symptoms or any other problems during the exercise schedule.
Before starting exercise for a normal person, is the resting heart rate kind of Does it give a picture of how sound your health is at the moment?
Yeah, heart rate does definitely give you some picture of how healthy the heart could be. Normal heart rate is between 60 to 90 beats per minute. Anything higher than that, in the region of 90 plus, 100, 110, 120, means the heart is beating very fast and the exact cause should be found out. If the heart rate is very slow, 50 and below, again the cause should be found out. If the heart rate is irregular, normally everybody's heart rate is regular. If it is irregular, then again you need to find out the cause, because there should be some underlying problem, most probably, that is causing the irregularity in the heart rate. Basically, athletes, those who have been exercising for a long time, especially from younger age onwards, do tend to have a slow heart rate. That is what we call as an athlete's heart. The pulse rate can be even up to about 48 per beats per minute. But then again, a full checkup is very important for all these with a slow heart rate, to find out whether it is only an athlete's heart, whether it is a diseased athlete's heart, or what exactly it is. You have things like echocardiography that could evaluate all such things.
Recently, the Lescraft University delegation had also come, and during one of their talks, they mentioned that even 4-year-old children can start some specific programs. Now, if we take an example of a 4-year-old in Goa, and depending on how we eat and what we eat culturally, for any sport, what kind of how would we able to get him started in any sport? How much activity would be he or she able to endure, and what would be his heart condition, considering that he doesn't have any congenital or family heart problem? So for a 4-year-old, how would we begin a sports program?
Why 4-year-old? Recently, when we went to St. Petersburg, we saw in this Lescraft University a 2-year-old was swimming in an adult pool. So, that's how early they start the program. So, if the child has no congenital disease, physically the milestones are normal, then he can be trained for any activity. But at the same time, as I told you, the natural foods are very important. It should not be any supplemental foods. It should be natural foods, natural proteins, carbohydrates, and the exact amount of fat that is required. So depending on the body build, depending on the age, the nutritionist would definitely prescribe how much the quantity of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, and any vitamins or any other growing supplements, not supplemental foods, that are required.